guys, Alex again for Secret Men's Business, all things sex. Today I want to talk about sexual dysfunction. I was requested to talk about this, which I'm really happy to do. I'm really happy to hear about any requests at all. The more the merrier. So what I'll do is go through a bit of a description, a short, brief description of what sexual dysfunction is, the main types, the main causes, and then we'll look at treatments. And fear not, there are lots of treatments out there available. So to start with, sexual dysfunction is any physical or psychological problem preventing you from getting sexual satisfaction. So it's pretty broad, and it can affect men of all ages. Particularly the older we get, the more likely we are to be affected by it. So the three main types of sexual dysfunction are ejaculation disorders, and they come in three subtypes. So premature ejaculation, inhibited or delayed ejaculation, and then retrograde ejaculation. And I'll explain a bit more about those in a minute. The second main type is erectile dysfunction, and then the third main type is low libido. And again, some good tips on how to boost your libido in a few minutes. So the two main causes of sexual dysfunction are physical and psychological. It's pretty cut and dry. But under those two categories, there's a lot. So I'll unpack that a bit. So with the physical causes, you've got low testosterone, prescription drugs, blood vessel disorders, and high blood pressure. So if you've got high blood pressure, it's probably affecting you going to affect you if it hasn't already. Stroke, nerve damage, and nerve damage can be from diabetes. It can also be through surgery, if you've had prostate surgery, that type of thing. Smoking is a big physical cause, and excessive consumption of alcohol or recreational drugs. So they're the main physical causes of sexual dysfunction. The main psychological causes are performance anxiety, stress, and that's with relationship, work, life in general, depression and anxiety, and they seem to go hand in hand. Feelings of guilt or shame, often associated with religious upbringing or specific cultural upbringings. Trauma, and that can be small or large trauma. Desensitization through pornography. That's a big one today because pornography is so readily available. We all know that. We can jump onto the net anywhere and get access to pornography any time of day or night. So if you're overusing it, it tends to desensitize you to direct physical sexual contact. Low self-esteem is another psychological cause, and fear of intimacy is also another cause. But don't worry, guys, there's a lot of treatments out there, spanning from the more traditional style to some more kind of out there ways of treating it. And I would be inclined to be leaving no stone unturned and diving into as many different treatments and experimenting with as many different treatments as possible, because sexual dysfunction, sex is a big part of our life, and sexual dysfunction can really affect people in quite a profound way. I want to unpack the three main types of sexual dysfunction first, just to give you an idea of what sexual dysfunction is. I mentioned earlier ejaculation disorders, erectile dysfunction, and low libido. So let's have a look at the ejaculation disorders. First one, premature ejaculation. So basically, that is when you come too soon, sooner than you want to. And again, a lot of the causes in these are quite similar, but I'm going to go over them because they do differ in varying degrees. So with premature ejaculation, some of the causes are stress, depression, a history of sexual repression, low self-confidence, lack of communication or unresolved conflict in relationships, certain drugs, either prescription or recreational, spinal injuries, and low serotonin levels. The second one, inhibited or delayed ejaculation, that's basically not being able to come or taking longer than you wish to. And the causes for inhibited or delayed ejaculation are long-term health issues, excessive alcohol consumption, side effects from prescription drugs or recreational drugs, depression or anxiety, stress, and again, relationship problems. The third ejaculation disorder, retrograde ejaculation, that's quite specific and a bit more rare, and it's when semen flows backward into the bladder. And the cause for that is usually post prostate surgery side effects or side effects from diabetes. So the second main type of sexual dysfunction is erectile dysfunction. And there's a lot of information out there about this. And in fact, I could probably do a whole segment just on erectile dysfunction as it is, but I'll kind of briefly describe it now. So it's basically an inability to get or maintain an erection, or getting it up, as they say. It is quite common, and studies are showing that half of men over 40 will experience it to some degree. The causes are usually unhealthy lifestyle, chronic illness, injury to the penis, and that again, that's another segment that I could probably unpack further. Stress, performance anxiety, relationship problems, depression, sexual addiction, excessive use of pornography, again, and fear of intimacy, which links in often with sexual addiction. The third type of sexual dysfunction is low libido. And this is basically a decrease in desire or interest in sex, usually caused by low levels of testosterone, depression, anxiety, relationship difficulties, diabetes, high blood pressure, and certain medications like antidepressants. So that's the three main types unpacked. Now let's go and have a look at some treatments. So let's look at some treatments of sexual dysfunction. Yes, treatments. So there is hope. I've basically outlined eight basic treatments. There's probably more out there, and there's probably we can be more comprehensive about the ones I've got, but in the interest of time, I'm going to stick to what we have here. So treatment number one, prescription medications, Viagra, Cialis, Levitra. Depending on whether you want a big hit with Viagra or a more kind of gentle distribution of the drug via Cialis. Number two, hormone therapy, but this would be via a GP consultation. Number three, psychological therapy, and there's quite a few therapies that succeed with sexual dysfunction. I'd say let's have a look firstly at EFT, which is emotionally focused therapy. Then ACT, which is acceptance commitment therapy. Then Gestalt therapy. I'm a Gestalt therapist. Had some success with sexual dysfunction. getting to the emotional cause and root of sexual dysfunction, which is what psychological therapies are all about. Mindfulness-based sex therapy, that's relatively new, but the person who developed it has had a lot of success, apparently, working with their clients. Sexological body work, again, more body-focused psychotherapy. It is still a psychotherapy, but it's using the body, as is somatic experiencing. Again, another psychotherapy, but using the body's wisdom to unravel and unwrap what lies underneath, basically. Number 4, exercise. That's the biggie. Number 5, diet. And I've got a few key things here to have a look at. So number 1, reducing or eliminating alcohol. Eating foods which are high in vitamin D and zinc, like your cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. And there are some awesome, not everybody likes Brussels sprouts, but there are some awesome recipes out on the web there for roasting them. I used to hate them. I now love them. Another interesting thing with diet is looking at increasing consumption of foods that block estrogen for us guys, especially as you get older. That's actually really important. Things like mushrooms, red grapes, seeds, particularly flaxseed and sesame seeds, whole grains, not processed, whole, green tea, pomegranates. But before you change anything in your diet, I highly recommend you going to speak to your GP or a qualified dietitian. Next on the list are natural supplements. Can be a little bit controversial, but I've experimented and I've had fantastic results. Firstly, horny goat's weed. Yes, it's a thing. It works. Elk or deer horn. And again, bit of superstition. I have tried it and I have to say it really works. Whether that was a placebo effect or not, I don't care. It worked. One that's very close to my heart is Tantra. So number 7, I'm putting down as Tantra. I'm going to do a whole segment on Tantra down the track because it's amazing, transformative, and can have fantastic results with sexual dysfunction. So a brief description here on Tantra is basically that it's a tradition where personal awakening or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it is sought via the body, and union is pursued through relationship and intimacy, intimacy being one of the key factors here. And the last one, number 8, this I would say is absolute last resort, but mechanical aids. So vacuum devices, a lot of guys use vacuum devices to varying degrees of success. I haven't tried it. I'm interested in trying it. If you have, really happy to hear your feedback on it. And absolute last resort, penile implants. Again, that would be down the road of a GP consult and absolute last resort. So there you have it. 8 treatments for sexual dysfunction. Again, like I said before, there are a few more, but I think these cover probably the most effective treatments. If you guys have tried any of these and had success or no success, I really want to hear your feedback about that. Again, we can look further at digging a bit deeper with any of these. So thanks guys for listening. This is Alex signing off for All Things Sex. Again, thanks to Joey for giving me the opportunity to present this information to you guys in secret Men's Business TV. Please like, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And like is here, not here, like I said before, right here. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll get the regular updates that Joey is so fiercely putting together for us guys. So thanks again, guys. Look after yourselves and look after each other.